Well, hello, stargazers. Today is September 2nd, 2025. And for those of you who are on the Trump death watch, he's not dead yet, which isn't to say he's not on his deathbed. So his demise is imminent. We were pretty confident he would make it through summer. So I might be off by a couple weeks, but still, okay. And honestly, while it will be a huge relief that we don't have to be on the endless repeating loop of Trump news cycles, dear God. The problem is, as soon as he's gone, he is replaced by J.D. Vance and company, who are much, much more problematic, right? So the thing to remember is that with him and his entrance into our lives and his exit from our lives, he is very much about mass consciousness. So he's been a stress test for everything he comes in contact with, and certainly he's been a stress test for our universal consciousness. Okay, so if only Netanyahu would go out right behind him. Which reminds me, if you want to know how close this man is to death, all you have to do is watch Netanyahu's actions, because Netanyahu knows that the only way he's getting what he's getting and getting away with it is because of the support from the Trump administration. So if Trump's not there, or if there's the possibility that Trump may be going imminently very soon, Netanyahu will pull some really big, blatant stuff. He did this once before. He did it again just recently, so we can expect more from them. Now, this eclipse that is occurring on the 7th is a 15-degree Pisces eclipse. Now, what's important about this is this eclipse is occurring at the same time that Uranus is stationing retrograde. You know, Uranus, the planet of inconvenient truth and unvarnished honesty. So we can expect some much more surprising news to come out by the end of this week. And truths shall be revealed. So it will be interesting. And these will be things that have to do with all of us, the larger groups of people, as opposed to a handful of people getting their karmic comeuppance. And the reason I say that is because this particular eclipse involves the North Node. So this is going to open a doorway or a portal for us to kind of work through, and move into the future. Now, the second eclipse this month is at the end of the month. It's a 29 Pisces. And this eclipse will absolutely 29 Virgo. This eclipse will absolutely involve Saturn now, so it's getting activated all month long. So this first week of September is going to be, first 2 weeks of September are going to be huge. Now, keep an eye on that, and definitely there's some karma being served here. But remember, all of this is about mass consciousness. So if we have done our work and we've turned this ship correctly, we will avoid some of the worst outcomes that were possible. It does not mean that September is going to be any more pleasant or easy, but we will get through it, as opposed to the, death cult, religious wackadoodles trying to force the end of the world on us. Okay, all right. Now, for you, the things I want you to keep in mind this month as we go through it is, one, people are going to be much more emotional, much more irrational, and much more hyper reactive than usual. Like, you're going to say stuff, it's literally going to be like dealing with a woman who's pregnant or having PMS, like with major hormonal overload where she's just not thinking clearly. And it's all feelings, right? So everybody, men and women alike, are going to be like this. So you might find yourself saying things that seem perfectly innocent that for whatever reason set somebody off. So keep that in mind as we go through the month, and tread carefully and kindly around people, and be ready to apologize if you need to, effusively, to keep the temperature down in the room. So there's that. The other thing is, while you're on the roads driving, definitely, oh my God, definitely, while you're traveling, keep an eye out for other drivers. This is of all the months, this is definitely the month where we want to practice the most defensive driving possible and the most safe traveling possible. This is not a great time to get on an airplane. So I'm just saying, if you have the option of not getting on one, this is probably a good time to not get on one. Now, Uranus stationing retrograde with this eclipse, Uranus also rules explosions. So Uranus and the eclipse together could bring us some major explosion somewhere, bombs dropping sort of stuff, which is not too unusual because we've got so much going on overseas. And it could also be things that are explosive in nature in terms of what they reveal and what they destroy in the process once they make contact. Okay, inconvenient truths. So this month, if I had to give you anything, I would say two things. One, this is a time when we're all going to need to take a good look at ourselves and ask ourselves, what is a better way to move forward in our life that's more in keeping with the golden rule? Okay, the things we would teach our children are important in life. The other is look at wherever you have Saturn at late Pisces or your planets at early Aries. If you know the houses, you can certainly look at the house. But for those of you who don't have that access to that information, just look at the planets, right? Anything at the 29th degree of mutable signs, Pisces, Virgo, Gemini, Sagittarius, or the early degrees of cardinal signs, Aries, Libra, Capricorn, Cancer. This particular end of the month eclipse is really going to get you, okay? Especially if it's mutable, late degree mutable signs. And this is going to be a time when you will make a reckoning with yourself, and possibly even turn a corner. So whether that corner is turning for the good or the bad, it's completely up to you. The most important thing is that the call to action at this time is for you to get really serious, and to hold yourself accountable for what you have and have not done in your life or for yourself, and to make committed changes or make commitment to changes right now. Okay, so it doesn't all have to be bad. So some of you may be rewarded at this time. If you've been doing good things, you should be rewarded. And those of you who've really not done best by yourself or the people around you, like, you're going to be very, very painfully, acutely aware of where you're coming up short. And nobody's going to need to remind you. You're going to see it yourself. Okay? So use this time to meditate, pray, visualize, like, more. There are plenty of people out there who have been quietly doing exactly that. And they've managed to turn the ship of mass consciousness, because we could be in a much worse position right now. And the worse and more aggressive these people get, the more of a panic they're in. You got to know that's what they look like when they're in a panic. So you will contribute to the greater good by visualizing, praying, meditating, whatever it is that you do, on the best possible outcomes for everybody, where we're all thriving and our kids are safe. Okay, because we are literally, this is the end of the road for a lot of nonsense. So we're about to turn a corner permanently this month. Okay, so let's make sure we're turning the right corners. All right, and that's it. So I don't have much to give, because it's been, oh my God, I've got you guys my thoughts. All right, and we'll see you in October.